Is California Governor Gavin Newsom trying to seize federal money right out of the pockets of his own citizens just to spite Donald Trump? The political tension in this country has reached a fever pitch, and now, the governor of the Golden State is threatening to implement a 100 tax on any Californian who receives a payout from President Trump's newly created $178 billion Anti-Weaponization Fund. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in U.S. politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you get the unfiltered truth on these developing stories. The situation began when the Department of Justice announced a massive anti-weaponization fund, a product of a settlement between Trump and the IRS. Supporters call it a nonpartisan effort to rectify past administrative abuses, but Newsom and other Democrats see it as something entirely different. They are sounding the alarm, claiming the fund could essentially be used to reward individuals involved in the January 6 Capitol riots. Newsom hasn't minced words, stating on social media that because Trump pardoned or commuted the sentences of over 1,500 people, this fund acts as a reward for those who were beating up cops. Newsom's message is clear: he wants every penny of that money reclaimed by the state of California, and he is pushing for legislation to ensure the state takes 100 of the proceeds from any recipient within his borders. But here is where the story gets complicated, and where the critics are pouncing. Newsom's crusade against this fund is being met with accusations of massive hypocrisy. Republican leaders, including California Senate Minority Leader Brian Jones, are pointing out that Newsom himself has been accused of managing his own versions of slush funds. For example, remember the $25 million California legal fund created specifically to fight what Newsom called legal warfare from the Trump administration? Critics view that as a prime example of the very thing Newsom is now condemning. Furthermore, during the 2021 recall election, Newsom faced intense scrutiny over no-bid COVID-19 contracts, with investigations revealing that billions in taxpayer money flowed to well-connected insiders and donors with minimal oversight. This fight over the Anti-Weaponization Fund is happening at the absolute worst time for the California state budget. We are looking at a state facing a $29 billion shortfall for the 2027 fiscal year. While the state government cries poverty, the public is watching billions of taxpayer dollars disappear into what critics call boondoggles. Take the high-speed rail project, for instance, a massive undertaking with an estimated price tag of $128 billion, yet not a single track has been laid. Then there is the infamous wildlife crossing bridge that ran $20 million over budget, leading Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy to mock it as a bridge to nowhere. So, what does this actually mean? If Newsom succeeds, he sets a dangerous precedent where a state can effectively nullify a federal settlement by taxing the recipients into poverty. It's a direct challenge to federal authority, and it positions Newsom as the ultimate defender of the Democratic establishment as he looks toward a potential 2028 presidential bid. However, it also opens him up to a relentless barrage of attacks regarding his own track record with taxpayer funds. If the state is struggling to keep its own books balanced, do they really have the moral high ground to lecture the federal government on how it spends its money? The outcome of this is still uncertain. Other lawmakers, including some from New York and Connecticut, are already looking at similar tax strategies to block these payouts. We are witnessing the beginning of a bureaucratic and legal tug-of-war that could reshape how federal settlements are handled in blue states. It's a clash between federal mandates and state-level resistance, and the taxpayers are caught right in the middle of it. So what do you think about this? Is Newsom's plan a legitimate way to protect California, or is it just a political distraction from the billions wasted on his own projects? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. Ultimately, this is a story about power, optics, and the reality of how our tax dollars are being managed at both the state and federal levels. Whether you agree with the governor or see this as nothing more than political theater, one thing is certain: the friction between California and the federal government is only going to intensify as we move closer to the next election cycle. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned as this situation continues to develop.